Belgium produced a brilliant performance to knock 5 times winners Brazil out of 2018 World Cup and to reach the semi-final of the World Cup for the first time since 1986. I told you that I'm enjoying this World Cup. I don't know about you. A lot of records have been broken and a lot of records have been set. And to join me in the studio today talking about all things that are happening in Russia 2018 is my colleague Simeon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, and I'm glad to be here again.
Tell me about your highlights of last weekend results.
Yeah, my highlight for the weekend is actually I love the match between Croatia and Russia. So they really prove that they deserve to be where they are today. So I'm actually happy about their match.
All right, we're going to take it one step at a time. But first, let's talk about what happened between Uruguay and France.
Yeah, between Uruguay and France, I think the problem, like I said, it's going to be difficult for France to attack Uruguay the way they attack Argentina, because Uruguay is the kind of people who play 4 players at the end, so they don't move. But the worst thing for me is the selection of the coach, because I've never seen that kind of selection before since I've been watching soccer. So for a coach to use 4-1-2-1-2. So I've never seen such a formation.
The French?
No, the Uruguay coach.
Okay,
so I've never seen that kind of formation before, which you leave your wings empty. And then we know the kind of games that France play. They use more of their wings, the Mbappe and the likes of Griezmann. So I believe so. And they actually, France did what we expected every team to do. If you can't pass around, if you can't break the defense of our opponent, try to play shots from outside the box. So
yeah, I agree. But then with what we're seeing with the French national team so far, you know, we've criticized them rather a lot about their performance in Russia, especially the likes of Pogba. Like we spoke last week about Pogba, the kind of criticism that he's receiving from people and how psychologically it's going to affect him as a footballer. And you know, he's not going to be able to step up the game because of what people are saying about him. But then on that day, he was able to prove to a lot of us what we have been talking about and how we expect him. You know, we've been the kind of expectations that is coming from the fans. We saw on that day that he was able to step up the game. To you, were you impressed with the performance of the entire French team?
Yeah, I must say I'm impressed with the performance of all the entire team, especially their defense and their attackers as well.
Of Pavard.
Yeah, but for me, I don't still see Pogba as that kind of person that we expect in this tournament so far, because if Pogba always play well when we play against a team that defend, that doesn't attack, but his weakness shows when he plays a team that has more attacking threats. So that's when he decides.
But I think he deserves our praise, though. We've been talking so much about how he's not stepping up, how he's not the expectations. He's not been the expectation that we have for his game. Where is not being met by him, and for him to be able to play the way he did against Uruguay, to me, I just saw a lot of positivity in the performance, individual-wise and also collectively. I saw that they were able to, play together, and that is something that we've been complaining a lot since the tournament started. Like teams that are playing together, they get results together. And on that given night, we didn't care who played very well. The most important thing is they won the game, and then they are now in the semi-final. So do you see this team replicating the form of 1998?
Yeah, I think but they are going to struggle against Belgium. Because like we all said many things about Belgium, if Belgium keep to their 4-3-3, so keeping Kevin De Bruyne in front, Hazard and Lukaku, it's going to be difficult for France to beat them. Because it depends on the selection of the coach.
I don't know if you noticed something in that game, but while I was watching the game, and I've never seen this in the world of football, that a player started crying before the final whistle.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave us so much to talk about that. A lot of people are complaining that as a professional player, the only time you have to cry is when you hear the final whistle.
No. For me, that actually touched my heart. Actually, for me to see somebody who is so passionate about his country. For me, what I saw in that guy...
Is that not giving up before the time?
No, it's not giving up. It's you thinking about, what this means to you. For you to come back 2 goals against France, and the goals they considered is not actually what they could have considered. It was mistakes from the keepers and them. Also, for me, I could see somebody who is so passionate about playing for his national team. because I've never seen a player so passionate, so touched.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Because we all expect him to cry after the match.
Yes,
no.
But, you know, anything can happen within 5 minutes. You can score 2 goals in 3 minutes. You can score 2 goals in 5 minutes. So now what a lot of people are saying, and myself included, is that why can't you wait after the game? It's not over yet.
Yeah,
you know, that's what I'm saying. It's not over. It's like you're giving up before the time.
Yeah, it's not over. But when we see the kind of the formation of the coach for that day, it's not for them to score. I think the formation of Uruguay was to defend and then goes to penalty, extra time and penalty. So the guy knows what the strength of the team at that moment. He knows what they could have pulled off. You look at the bench, he knows the bench that there's nobody that can come in to do that damage anymore. Because if you look at the ball possession, they were not there. So shot at goal, they were not there. So what they could not do for 85 minutes, so he knows that it can't be possible again in that 5 minutes. So I don't really see anything that magic. He's somebody who is true to himself, so he knows his strength. So it was just, so he's true
somebody who is true to himself.
No, he's true
anyway,
to
we're going to be
himself,
talking a lot about that game, but then let's talk about another game that took place that night, which is Belgium against Brazil. And before we talk about that game, I know it's like the coach listened to the show. It's like he watched the show, listened to what we were talking about last week. We're talking about if the players are being played in their right positions, the players will be able to do wonders. And we saw that with Kevin, that you have said a lot about, that he is being played out of position. And then on that given night, we saw that a coach has to take him to where we know him best, you know. And he was able to produce something.
Yeah, see, psychologically for me, I believe as a player, I've once been a professional footballer. So I know once we are used to a particular position, and then you are used to it and you enjoy it, for you to now change is very difficult. Whether you are a professional and you are expected to do it by magic or by chance,
you can only try.
You can only try your best, because that's not your best.
You're right.
And week in, week out, just 2 weeks ago, you play in attacking role, and then this following week you were withdrawn to another place, because in Man City he plays more of attacking role, and then it just came few weeks, and then you as a coach move into holding midfield. So it's not, they are all women being as well. So I could see that thing in Kevin De Bruyne when he was playing in his right position, and I'm happy that the coach actually took that decision.
Let's analyze the entire performance of the two teams, because going into that game, I told you before that I was expecting Brazil to win, because to me I feel they are more sophisticated to beat any team in this tournament than even the Belgium side, the French side. I was tipping the Brazilians because I spoke about togetherness. I spoke about how good they are as individuals also. And then, you know, everyone, of course, on paper, they were the favorite to win the tournament. But then going against the Belgium side, and nobody expected. The performance of the Belgian national team in the first half was phenomenal for me. And I think that won the game for them. You know, so let's talk about the entire performance for you.
Yeah, the entire performance for me, I would say there's one thing that Belgium did right that Brazil did not notice. Is because they first of all play their normal game, and then they believe in what we call, if you can't break the defense, just try it from anywhere. So, and I think that favored them above Brazil. It was late. Brazil left it late, start playing short from outside, seeing that pressure coming in on Belgium. But for the first half, and there's one thing that we've seen in this tournament, if you allow a strong opponent to score first, then it becomes difficult for you to come back. So, and that's what Belgium used against Brazil. So immediately they scored the first goal, Brazil was ready to come out. And then they scored the second goal. And then, if not because of Hazard, Brazil could have been beaten like 3 or 4 goals. Because at some point, Hazard tried to, not to disgrace them, but I think because instead of attacking, you decide to hold the ball, collect foul, and then play the ball and then waste the time. So
you see, with last week here on this show, what we say that is very interesting to that game was that we spoke about the two coaches, about the tactics that they're going to use. And if that day I told you that the two coaches are going to decide the game. The kind of formation that they comes into the game with is what is going to decide who is going to win the match. And on that given night, the Belgium coach, Martinez, to me, he's doing a fantastic job. And him bringing in Thierry Henry, who is also doing the work with him, and they were brilliant, trust me. Because for them to see that against the Brazilian side, that is a more attacking-minded team. They have defenders who can score. They have strikers who can score. Midfielders who can score goals. So what are we going to do? Let's play our normal game and then try to also do something that they've not been doing.
Not been doing,
You know, and then they succeeded on that.
And I think like you said about coaches, I think the Brazilian coaches also make something that I believe is wrong by removing Williams.
Yeah,
for Firmino. Because I don't know what he sees in Gabriel Jesus above Firmino. Because I think Firmino could have been best player
even
to play.
Augusto that came in and scored the goal.
So they could have been the best players to play at that time. So it could have been Jesus going out for Firmino, not Williams, because that could have given them more attack threats. So going forward to equalize that goal, but immediately made that decision. I was like, okay. So
now you see, in this World Cup, and I've said it a lot of times, that this World Cup has proven to a lot of us that football is evolving. And now we're seeing teams that nobody expected. Though they are good teams, no doubt about it, they're good teams. They deserve to be where they are. The likes of England, Belgium, France, and Croatia. To me, the top best performance team in this tournament is from these four teams. And then they're in the semi-final, making it the European semi-final since 2006. Since 2006. And now we're having these teams in this tournament. The Belgium side, though. Let's forget, okay, on that given night, they were able to get it spot on against the Brazilian side. But then they're playing against a French side that is also very good.
I believe, for me, if I have to analyze based on what I've seen so far in this tournament, and if the coach listen again and use the same formation he used against Brazil for Belgium, I believe they're going to beat France. Because for me, they are more collected, they are more compact.
I'm not arguing, but they're playing against the French side. They also have a very strong midfield.
Yeah,
and the defense is also okay.
Yes, France have, like we've been saying. For me, I don't see the likes of Pogba. Kante is there, yes, but if Kante will be forced to defend. He will be forced to join the defense if the likes of Kevin De Bruyne,
the Hazard
step up their game, so he will be forced.
And Lukaku is also here.
And one thing that I want us to notice is they are both teams who understand themselves. So they are both playing in the same clubs. So if you look at most of them, so they both understand themselves. So players to player, Kante understand Hazard understand Kante. So the likes of Kevin De Bruyne understand more of the Fernandinho, because they both play in Man City, so they both understand themselves. So it's going to be a tough game between the two of them. But for me, if Hazard comes to play, if Kevin De Bruyne comes to play, they're going to beat France.
I know we're going to talk about everything that happened in Russia. We're going to, next week after the World Cup, we're going to have our final show on the World Cup special, which we're going to be talking about everything that happened in Russia. But I want to ask you so far in this tournament, because the hosts are proving to a lot of us that they also they're a team that everyone should also be looking up to, because for them to be the quarterfinal, where the likes of Germany fade, the likes of Spain, Argentina, Brazil, and all that fade to go further. Are you impressed so far with the tournament? Not Russia, just Russia. Because I know we're going to talk about Russia, but then the tournament itself, are you okay with it?
The tournament itself is fine for me. So it proves to every one of us that it's not about those names. It's not about the richest countries. It's about players with heart, players with passion, players with determination and everything. So, and the four countries that is in semi-final, they actually proved that. And I'm actually happy to see, because it was like the same thing that we find in clubs before. We call top four in every league.
Every league. Now
so
it's changing.
Everything is changing. And then the World Cup also going to that direction as well. So it's fine for me.
All right. Now let's talk about another game also. Let's talk about England versus Sweden. And then before we go to Russia and Croatia, but let's talk about England versus Sweden. Right now, like I would say, a lot of the press in UK, they are going crazy. To them, their team is the best in this tournament. And I know you will not argue with them, though. If the likes of Brazil are back home and they are still in the semi-final.
Like I said, if a team is winning, the coach will think his formation is right. And then the fans will think their team is the best. But for me, I still not, despite England being in the semi-final, I still not seeing anything good in that team. For me, because if you look at that team from the beginning, they've not scored a goal from passings or whatever. All their goals is either from set piece and penalties. That's all. So they've never been a combination of players passing to each other to score a goal. And actually on that night, so we are made to understand that if weather as well play a part against Sweden. because Sweden were used to like 12-degree weather,
So
and
they're
then
changing,
and
and
then
it
they have to
became,
play around
yeah.
30 something. So which England is used to 29, and so this actually weakened them in terms of their strength. This actually weakened the Swedes, so they are not really
The
strength.
Swedish
So,
side is also one team that impressed me so much in this tournament with the way they played so far. Like we say, they don't have the so-called superstars, but then they were able to, go that far in the tournament where the likes of Argentina fade to Germany fade to also. But then they were able to. So to me, kudos to them though.
yeah.
They tried for them.
Even
too.
Ibrahimovic said every Swedish player deserve a medal.
No, they deserve it.
So
they deserve it.
Slanta said so.
They
He
deserve
said
it.
every one of them deserve a medal, a golden boot
Boot.
for
Their
their performance. So actually, I'm
nobody
proud of
will
them as
argue
well.
with them
Yeah.
though. Yeah, but that's true. Okay, let's talk about Croatia and Russia. Russia is one team that a lot of us, prior to the tournament,
Excluding
we're not going to give them
Yeah,
a chance,
to
to be
go far.
in the second round of the World Cup, because they came into this World Cup as a FIFA lowest ranking team themselves and Saudi Arabia, in this tournament, and then they surprised a lot of people. Was that because of the support from the fans, the home fans, that gave them so much confidence that they were able to come this further in the tournament?
Yeah, I think if you realize that I made a statement when they won 5-0 in their first match, I said this will give them the bonra, the confidence that they need to go far, but they won't get to final. So, but the issue is they build on the first match, and then if you look at that thing, and
then they started getting better as the
and better.
progressed.
And if you look at the two people that they brought in their first game, actually be the players who proved so much in they are number 6, the Yuri, and they are the 22. So they were not supposed to be part of the team, but they were part of the team by divine arrangement. So the other player was they are both injured, so they were given chances and then they proved so well. So I think their formation as well favored them. So they play with their hearts, they play with the backing of their fans as well, determination. So and I'm pleased with their performance.
I'm also impressed with them because I mean, it's a team that nobody gave them a chance. Prior to the tournament, nobody gave them a chance. Coming into the tournament as not just the FIFA lowest ranking team in the tournament, but also a team that don't have known faces. They don't have players who one can point and say.
They not even qualify for the
World
Cup. They only came because of hosts.
So. And prior to the World Cup, also they also played 7 matches without winning one. So with that record, one would think, okay, they were just going to be there just to add numbers, and they're there because they hosted the World Cup. And aside hosting a beautiful World Cup, that we've seen a lot of records being broken, and a lot of records being set, where they also gave us a glimpse of what is yet to come from their football, and that I was happy with.
If their government or the coach can keep the same set of players, there will be a team to reckon with in years to come. So because those players, they are young, and they play with determination.
And one thing
the
right word is determination. They were determined, because that's one thing I saw so much in that team. The way they played together as a team, and then there was no pointing of fingers. Like you said, there was no not too many mistakes because they were able to cover up for each other, and then they were able to go further. But then another team that took them out is Croatia. Croatia is a team that we love so much. We love them. We love them because of the way they are playing.
They are playing. No, Croatia for me, at least they surpass my expectation. So though we know they have.
You're not expecting them to be at this stage.
We are not expecting them to be at this stage. Okay, being an African person, so I want Nigeria, and I definitely have already put in Argentina to be number 1 to leave the group stage, and then Nigeria second. So nobody would say that as an African would think. Wish Croatia to get out of that group.
But surprisingly, I told a friend of mine that we have to look out for Croatia coming into the tournament before the tournament starts. I told him, let's look out for Croatia because to me they have players who have been together, and this might be their last World Cup playing together. Some of them, because like Modric, they're in their 30s. Mazukic in 30s also. Lovren, all these guys are matured players in there. Load of experience, and the young ones also in there. So to me, I was saying, let's look out for these guys. It might be their last World Cup, and they might just try to prove a point. And so far, they've not disappointed.
And I think their winning mentality also play. So most of them, they are used to winning. So they play in a big clubs who their mission is to win at the end of the season. So I think most of them, they are used to winning. So that winning mentality also play a role in their performance as well. So I give it to them because they deserve to be where they are.
There are, yeah.
All their goal, all their points that they earn is not by chance. So they
No,
work
that
for
they
it.
worked
So
really
they
hard
really
for it.
work
That's
really hard
true.
for
They
it.
worked
So
really hard
they
for
deserve
it,
to
yeah.
be here. And they deserve to be in final.
No, they deserve to be in the final. That is if they will be able to beat England, which you know is also going to be difficult.
Yeah.
In as much as we're complaining that England team,
Yeah,
they have not been fantastic.
They've not been fantastic for
But
me,
we
and they
still
don't have a
have-
team to beat. They don't have a team to beat Croatia for me. If I have to analyze, like I said, I will always analyze based on reality, not pessimistic, not to be optimistic or something like that. But when we look at players to player, man to man, because Croatia is going to feed England with the same thing that they are used to. So Croatia is a team also who depend on set piece. So they also have somebody like
Mandzukic also.
that
They
can
have
also play.
dangerous
So they
players.
have
The
defenders as well that
also.
can score. So
Vida is there,
so
and, you know,
they
yeah.
have, so they also have the same thing. But when we talk about attack, then England does not have the same attack that they have.
Can I tell you what
So,
I'm thinking?
yeah.
I'm thinking of if I'm seeing Croatia, Belgium playing in the final.
No, that's my takes as
Is
well.
it possible?
That's my take.
Well, anyway, it's too far for us to.
No, that's
you
my.
know, to predict
If I have
these
to talk
things,
about it, that's my take. So I'm seeing Croatia and Belgium because those are the only two that I see that really work hard from the beginning of the tournament to where they are right now. It's not people who win by chances or by. So I believe anybody winning is winning. But when we look at performance, when we look at determination, when we look at playing together, playing for the love of the country, Croatia and Belgium deserve to be in the final.
You know, like we're talking about the Belgium side. You know, they're very good, no doubt about it. They're playing against a tough opponent. We just only wish they were going to play different opponents, so we'll see a final French and the Belgium side. But now the Croatia that we've been talking about now is another team that is very good. And trust me, with a lot of experience, players who have won trophies in their club sides, and you know, coming into this tournament, nobody gave them a chance. And I believe that is one thing.
Yeah.
What
that really make them to
because
advance.
they don't have that
pressure. There's no pressure,
on them, coming
so,
from fans or the press about Croatia until they got to the semi-final. Now a lot of people are beginning to see that Croatia is a good team. It's a team for one to look up to.
But for me, France and Belgium is going to be final before final, so it's going to be a tough one for me. But I wish.
You know, football has changed. I'm scared of predicting these games because at the end of the day, we might say it's the final before final. Anybody from there goes to the final that wins. That's what I was saying. But now a lot of teams are beginning to give me more than what I'm expecting because we have Croatia who's playing together. Like you mentioned, England have not been that spectacular, but then they have a team. They are working together, you know, and that is also helping them because we're not seeing. To me, in the entire English team, I analyzed the entire team. I didn't see anybody who I would say that would be able to beat the Croatia or the Belgium or the French national team. But then as football, working together brings results. You know, it's not about who is in it.
And for England, something that just stood up for me was the keeper and Maguire. So those are players who play in no league that nobody even knows. So and
Maguire is playing for Leicester City.
So it was on bench. It wasn't used throughout last season. So and it came up. So and that's one thing we spoke about, that when we select a player, we should select a player that we know that have that love for the game, not just the name, not just the passion or whatever. So I think that also worked for England so far.
Yeah, you know, one thing is, I think a lot of coaches need to learn from this tournament. The likes of Brazil, Argentina, and all that, they need to learn from this tournament because in this tournament we've seen where it's not about who you have in your team. I mean, it's not about the superstars. Let me just put it that way. Or who is any more.
About the name.
It's about who is willing to give you what you're looking for. Because as a coach, you're looking for results. And then if you have players that are not going to be giving you results, when Belgium coach dropped the likes of Benteke, drops Nangolai, who were complaining that you don't have to drop players who are being informed. But then he have players who can listen to him. Players who can give him what he's looking for. And now he found himself in the semi-final of the World Cup for the first time since 1986. You know, so I think it's also important for the coaches to also learn from these mistakes and be able to rectify it.
And I think his selection actually worked fine for him. I think he chose the players who play in Premiership, who understand is kind of together. You know? So he chose players who play in Premiership, who also understand other players from other opponents who are from Premiership. Do you know one player that surprised me the most in that Belgium national team? And nobody is mentioning it. It's Vincel. The guy is very good.
in the midfield. He has been doing all the dirty job for them. And then the likes of Hazard are going out there to express themselves. And we're seeing Lukaku scoring a lot of goals. That guy stood against the Brazilian midfielders and he was able to do the damage. And and nobody's talking about it.
It's because no, in football, most of the time we talk about, that's what we are talking about, names. So we talk about people we see.
Yeah,
the press talk about, so they make noise about.
We're selling more.
We're selling more, but forgetting that football is a team of 11 players. So it's not about one person, it's not about the achievement of one person, so it's a collective. So that's why we've been talking about a team with that collective mind will go far, so to win the game. So that's what I can see from Croatia, and also that I can see in Belgium.
So in overall performance of the 8 teams that were in the quarterfinal, were you impressed with the performance of all the matches?
Yes, I'm impressed of all the matches except England. Performance. So
no, I know the truth is you don't like the English national team. You don't think they deserve. You don't think they deserve.
It's not about liking them. It's about the game. Because if you look at that game from the beginning to the end, Sweden have more goal on target. So the only 2 chances England have is only 2 goals for 90 minutes.
But that is soccer for you, though. Sometimes you play the
But now they are going to play against the team like Croatia, who is going to have more organized, more shot on target so far.
Experience,
so they have experience.
And the creativity is also
and also we're going to see.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but football has changed, and that is what we're seing. We're getting this result. We saw Iceland got a result against Argentina because they were compact together. They were playing as a team and they were not relying on the individuals, and that is what has killed some of these big teams in this tournament. The likes of Argentina, building a team around Messi. Messi cannot do all the magic. He's a good player, no doubt about it, but when it comes to football, he has to work with players. And if they don't have players who can complement him, then he is going to be useless. And we saw that in this tournament. A whole Messi managed only 1 goal. And so we're seeing that from different players coming into this tournament. That's why I'm looking at England, and I'm not writing them off because to me, I feel, they have what it takes. It's about hard work.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
fine, but for me, if I have to predict, Belgium win. If I have to predict, Croatia win. So I'm seeing Belgium and Croatia.
Anyway, we're still going to talk more tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming on the show once again.
Thank you so much.
And I will be with you again tomorrow. And to our beautiful viewers out there, the World Cup 2018 in Russia has been an amazing tournament so far. I'm enjoying it. I don't know about you. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. That's because what is happening in this tournament is something that a lot of us we're not expecting. Prior to this World Cup, nobody envisaged Croatia would be in the semi-final playing against England. A lot of people were looking at Germany, Argentina, Brazil, and all that. But to tell you the truth, we are having a different tournament from what you expected and from what I expected. Because I envisioned to see France and Belgium in the semi-final, but I did not for a minute thought of England and Croatia being in the semi-final. Anyway, soccer, like I said to you, football has evolved a lot, and now we're seeing different things happen in the world of soccer. And in Russia, a lot of records are broken, and a lot of records have said Belgium being in the semi-final for the first time since 1986, and they've beaten Brazil only for the second time since 1963. Wow, those are incredible records that have been broken and set in Russia. I will see you again tomorrow, where we'll be bringing all the topics, all the team news about what's going to happen in the semi-final of Russia 2018. Do have a wonderful evening.